Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Fatima Arshad, sales consultant at Black Swan Business Setup Dubai. Today, we are excited to take our audience through a complete tour on the A to Z journey on how to set up a company in Dubai. Now, let's take a look at the agenda outlined for today. As per our agenda, initially our speakers will run you through why Dubai is the allied destination. Secondly, an introduction on Black Swan and how it has been surviving in the market, helping expats set up their companies, as well as how Black Swan is spreading its wings in terms of adding new products and services into their platform and working with new countries. Then we will move into the most questioned and confusing topic individuals face when starting a company in Dubai, which is the difference between mainland and free zones. Lastly, we will discuss compliance-related topics such as AML, UBO, skim-through, tax and VAT, and then we will have an opportunity to discuss the latest offers we have for our audience along with a session for Q&A. Now let's look at why Black Swan. We are a business setup company helping locals and expats to incorporate companies in Dubai and other Emirates. To that purpose, we are driven to come up with the solutions to get startups started quickly, inexpensively, and hassle-free. Black Swan has been in the industry for 7+ years and successfully grown to serving various countries in different company-related services using their 40+ employees who in accumulation has an experience of 35 years in the field. Now let's look at why Dubai. The Emirate is known as the gateway to the world and has thrived on its east-west links for many centuries and lies at the heart of Asia, Africa, and the Indian Triangle. Historically, its geographic location has facilitated easy connections, business networking, and access to trade. The Emirate is also home to an exceptional and cosmopolitan talent pool lured from across the global dynamic careers, a secure family-friendly environment, tax-free salaries, and a year-round sunshine. I will now like to mention some of the benefits and stress the importance. Dubai is on track to become world's #1 blockchain-powered city, where Dubai's infrastructure remains at the heart of its success. Alongside the substantial infrastructure, Dubai's government is fully supportive of experimental initiatives that aim to foster an environment where businesses of the future can thrive. Dubai is also known as a test bed for innovation, which is ideal for innovators and those seeking to create world-leading businesses. Dubai holds the leading logistics technology to drive the future of trade. The United Arab Emirates is a Middle Eastern country with several corporate tax benefits and is a great place to do business with a simple yet effective system. We all know taxes in the UAE are at the lowest. This allows smaller companies to file their income taxes at a lower rate than the larger ones. Now I would like to invite Ms. Deepa Jha, who is our senior specialist for mainland incorporations with an experience of 10+ years in this field. She will overtake the topic, what is mainland incorporation? Over to you, Ms. Deepa.
Thank you, Fatima, for the lovely introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Deepa Jha. I'm working as a senior business consultant in Black Swan's Business Setup Services. And today I'll talk about mainland incorporation. Though there are 3 types of jurisdiction in Dubai, which is mainland, free zone, and offshore. But today I will discuss about benefits, type of activities, and company structures in mainland. So I'll start with what is mainland. So mainland is the area in Dubai that lies outside the free zone and is regulated by Dubai Economic Department. Basically, the mainland license is issued by Dubai Economic Department. Now, why mainland? Why should you choose mainland as a jurisdiction for your company? First, now 100% ownership is allowed. Now, local sponsor or agent is not required. Local sponsor or agent is only required for certain type of activities. For example, rent-a-car, pharmacist license, etc. Where we need external approval from different government bodies. In mainland, there is ease to do business, be it locally or outside. There is no as such restrictions. There is no cap on number of employees. You can hire n number of employees in mainland company. There is no restrictions on renting an office. You can rent an office anywhere in Dubai. Whereas if you take any free zone jurisdiction, there are certain restrictions. You can only take offices in that particular free zone. In mainland, it's very easy to get bank account. High bank credibility is there. So it's easy to get corporate bank account in Dubai. Plus, you can also, there is access to the government contracts. In case you want to work with Dubai government, then it is easier to get contracts if you have a mainland license. So now I'll tell you type of companies you can form in Dubai mainland. There are three types of companies basically. One is commercial, professional, and industrial. So in commercial, all type of commercial activities falls under this category. For example, general trading, specific trading, like specific trading in the sense food stuff, hardware or software product trading, or cosmetic product trading, and many more. Professional activities, all type of service categories falls under this professional activities, like IT services, be it dental clinic, beauty salon, or many more. In industrial, a third one is industrial, where all type of manufacturing activities falls under this category, and it is mandatory to rent a warehouse or a land to have a manufacturing license in mainland. Also, there are three types of structures in Dubai in mainland, which is LLC, sole establishment, and civil. And all type of companies which I have mentioned, which is like commercial, be it commercial, professional, or industrial, it can be 100% owned by expats, plus it can be single person LLC, it can be civil as well. It just, if it's a professional activity, any service category, in that case, if you're opting for sole establishment, it is mandatory to have a local service agent in the license. If it is LLC, an expat can have 100% shares in the license. So there are still, though now 100% ownership is allowed in Dubai, still there are a couple of activities where we need external approvals. We still need local sponsor as 51% shareholder. For example, there are a couple of activities like I mentioned earlier, which is rent a car, or if it is related to, it's a pharmacist license, still we need local sponsor as 51% shareholder to get the approval from the health authority or from RTA. So this is the brief about activities and the structure is there in structures of mainland. So now I'll brief you about the documents required to form a mainland company. So there are basic documents we need. We need passport copy, visa copy, white background passport size photograph of the shareholders, 3 trade name options as per their choice, and the list of activities they need. So up to 10 activities can be added in the license from same group. Time frame, it takes approximately 5 to 6 days to get the license issued from Dubai Economic Department. Time varies on the activities in case some external approval is required for the activity. Process is also simple in Economic Department. The entire process, it takes 7 to 8 days to get the license. So once we receive all the documents, we apply for trade name and initial approval in Dubai Economic Department, which takes 2 to 3 working days approximately. Once the name is approved by the department, we schedule court signing. Court signing takes 1 or 2 days approximately. Once the court signing is done, the license will be issued within 2 to 3 working days. So entire process takes 7 to 8 working days. Once the license is issued, we apply for immigration card, which is also called establishment card in immigration department, which takes approximately 4 to 5 working days. Once the immigration card is issued, we apply for visas, which takes approximately 10 to 15 working days. And we at Black Swan, we take care of the entire process. We give A to Z services. So for more information, for more details, please feel free to contact Black Swan Business Setup Services. Thank you. Over to you, Fatima.
Thank you, Deepa. Now I would like to invite Ms. Aditi, again our senior consultant who is specialized in the field of free zones and has a hands-on experience on the successful incorporation of a number of free zones in Black Swan. Over to you, Aditi.
Hello, good afternoon all. Thank you, Fatima. I'm Aditi and I shall be briefing you about the free zones in UAE. So the agenda will be to cover what free zone is. So first I'll explain you what is free zone, why free zones, and what are the factors that decide the prices of the free zones, what is the procedure, timeline, and the cost. So the first thing that people usually do not understand and the first question they ask is what is free zone? So free zone is a special economic zone in UAE which is either attached to ports or industry specific, which is designed to boost the international trade. There are approximately 45 free zones in UAE, and the primary establishment purposes of these free zones are to increase the foreign capital investments and foreign trade in order to contribute to the international competitiveness. So the question is that why free zone? And many a times people get confused in so many free zones that we have here. So there are some advantages of going with the free zones. The first one is that it provides you with 100% foreign ownership and 100% repatriation of capitals and profits. It is 100% tax-free. It is very good for the import-export activities. And most of the free zones, they have almost all the activities available, which could be comprised of around 1,000 plus activities. However, some of the free zones are specialized in certain activities, which we'll discuss in coming time. So there are different types of licenses that are possible in free zone. It could be related with services, it could be trading, you can form holding companies, you can even have freelancing permits. And some of the free zones are specialized in only commercial activities, trading activities. Some are known for media activities. So there are certain free zones which are renowned for certain activities like only gold trading. Some of them could be only with the logistics. Some of them only media activities. So if you are into a certain industry, you can go and pick a certain free zone for yourself. Apart from this, there are other advantages like for the mainland incorporation, there are certain steps wherein, we may require the presence of shareholders. Whereas in the case of free zones, no physical presence is required of the shareholders. It is totally an online process. All the verifications, everything is happening online. So nobody is required to be physically present inside UAE while we are doing the license process. So the process is very easy. It's hassle-free and online process. Apart from this, one more advantage with free zones is that they keep coming up with certain offers, seasonal offers, monthly offers. So like this, clients do get an opportunity to get better discounts and offers and prices from free zones. Unlike mainland, they also provide you with the offers like multi-year packages. So in mainland, when we are forming the companies, it is mostly yearly license. But when we are going ahead with the free zone, you have a choice to go ahead with multi-year licenses. So you can get better deals. You don't have to renew your licenses like every year. Plus, you can also decide how many visas you want in the beginning itself. And apart from this, some of the other advantages with free zones are that if you are into logistics, if you're into import export, if you require warehouse, there are some free zones which are located near the seaports. So it is very easy for the companies who are into trading business to do the business here. And you can even stay in some of the non-Dubai Emirates, and you can lower down your residence cost also. Apart from this, one more advantage with free zones is that, like in the mainland, when we are forming companies, we require offices. It could be dedicated office or virtual office. But in case of free zone licenses, we have the option of getting flexi desk along with the license. So you don't have to pay separately for the office. that flexi desk or co-working desk, it works as an office address for you. So these are some of the added advantages with the free zones. Now I'll tell you about how the pricing works in free zones. What are the factors that you should keep in mind while you are trying to form a company in free zone. So one factor that affects the free zone price is the business activity. You should know how many business activities you require in the license, because that can affect your price. Next is how many shareholders are there and what kind of shareholding it is. It's individual shareholding or it's a corporate shareholding. How many visas you require in the license. And the license cost varies and it depends on the number of visas that you need. Plus, do you have all the documents that you need? And the documents are more or less same as my colleague Deepa just mentioned. The same documents are required when you're forming a free zone company as well. Some of the activities may have additional document requirements, but by and large, we require the same documents. So what is the process? So in mainland, the process is slightly different. In the free zone, the process is slightly different. So here it's totally an online process. You provide us with the required information. When we onboard the clients, we will get all the information in our forms, and we'll fill that information and submit the application in the free zone. In free zones, we have to make full payments upfront in most of the cases. There are very limited free zones who may sometimes provide installment options, but most of the times we have to make upfront payments to the free zones. And once the documents are submitted in free zone, they are going to do an online verification. The online verification mode can also vary. It could be sometimes through a video call. It could be sometimes a digital signature. So it can vary from free zone to free zone. And then finally, in a very short span of time, it could be 3 days to 7 days, you get your license done. So now I'll tell you about the timeline, so how it works. So first is that we submit the documents, and within 3 to 7 days, we get the license. Along with the license, you will get some other company documents like memorandum, you'll get company incorporation certificate. Once we get all these documents, we apply for the establishment card or immigration card, which is like registering your company in the immigration department. It can, again, the timeline can vary 2 to 3, 4 days, depending on free zone to free zone. So basically, company incorporation in free zone is very simple. It's online, and hardly, within 5 to 7, 8 days, you get your company incorporation done. And after that, we are good to start with the visa process. As far as costing is concerned, see, costing can vary a lot in the free zones because, as I said, there are 40 plus free zones, and every free zone is having their own price structure and multiple factors. Like I said, your business activity and number of visas, how the shareholding pattern is, what is the share capital. So these can vary, but yeah, you sometimes get very good deals. The lowest price, like for any free zone company, if you are, for example, not taking any visas, you can form your free zone company even in 5,000-6,000 dirhams without visas. But if you are taking visas, the packages can vary. Now we are having Ramadan, so we'll have some good packages in Ramadan. On the Women's Day, we got a special couple of offers from free zones for women. Like in 5,000, 8,000 dirham, you could form companies. So yeah, the pricing for without visa can start from 5,000 onwards, and then with visa, it can minimum, 13,000, 14,000 dirham. Also, you can form a company. But we always understand your requirements. We'll see all these factors, and then we'll recommend you which is the best free zone to go ahead with based on your activity and the requirements. And we'll let you know what the actual cost is going to be. So this is about the costing part, and then once we are done with the company incorporation, we can do the visa process. So I think that's it about free zones. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aditi. And now I would like to invite Mr. Anand, a senior specialist in VAT, tax, UB and AML related activities, to give you an insight on it. Over to you, Anand. Anand, you're muted.
Hi, Fatima. Thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Anand Vats. I'm a consultant in Black Swan, and my expertise is in the compliance matter, which every business owner essentially, every business entity essentially needs. So, first, let's talk about the corporate tax. The UAE Ministry of Finance has introduced a corporate tax as a direct tax, which is imposed on a net income of the incorporation and the other businesses on 9 December 2022. Though this was in the news from a long time, and and it is introduced in on December 9, 2022. Government made a publication of the material, which is accessible on a Federal Tax Authority website. And the government is also conducting a lot of webinars and informative sessions to let the investors know that what would be their tax liabilities. So tax liability is 9% of a corporate tax, which will be on the net income of the incorporations and the businesses. So the corporate tax in UAE will remain the lowest in the world so far. So this is one of the very good part for the investor, and it will help to reduce the compliance burdens on the businesses also. The introduction of corporate tax will increase the revenue of UAE, which is the main goal also, which is essential to stand competitive in the global business market for this country or for this region. And this is definitely going to bring more financial discipline in the corporate culture. And this will turn as a result in a proper maintenance of record keeping also, which government Ministry of Finance is eyeing. And the purpose of introducing corporate tax for tax transparency while protecting startups and small businesses in the UAE to safeguard their interest. And UAE is aiming several other things with the introduction of cost, like they would like to diversify their economy from oil to the services and the trading sector and the industrial sector also. So this is just to be competent enough in the world market and to comply with the international rules and regulations. The one thing which is similar and which is very popular nowadays, once the this tax implication has come into the picture, the compliance liability of the businesses which are running in UAE. These liabilities are AML, anti-money laundering, and ultimate beneficiary owner. So I will give you a little brief about anti-money laundering also first. And anti-money laundering is basically a set of rules and regulations, which is a protocol, and this is designed to prevent direct financial crimes in UAE, and this includes money laundering and terror funding. So the UAE has established a comprehensive AML regulation to control financial crimes and with international AML standards. Central Bank in UAE is a regulatory authority which is responsible for enforcing all kind of AML regulations in this country. Financial institutions like us, or like real estate companies or brokerage companies or lawyer firms, their responsibility goes on the higher side to detect and stop preventing this money laundering and terror funding activities. So like we are essentially required to do CDD, which is called a customer due diligence for all the clients we onboard, and then we as a DNBF, it becomes our responsibility. So penalties for non-compliance will AML is come into the picture. It can be from 100,000 to 1 million dirham also. So every entity which is running a business in UAE should comply the rule and regulation, the tax liability or AML registration. Then it comes a term UBO, ultimate beneficiary owner. What is UBO? This country would like to identify the ultimate beneficiary owner of every business which is being established in UAE. UBO stands for ultimate beneficiary owner, as we everybody know. This term refers to a person or an entity who ultimately owns a company or organization, who is getting benefit from the company's assets and the profit company is making. So as a part of country's effort to combat money laundering and terror funding, financial institutions are like institutions like us, and the lawyers and the broker companies are required to identify and verify the UBOs and as a part of customer due diligence. So UAE government has established a legal framework to be compliant and to disclose. Every organization has to disclose their relevant authority to the relevant authorities that who is the ultimate beneficiary owner of the company. Black Swan will help you to get all these compliances done, whether it's a ultimate beneficiary owner or your AML registration or your tax registration, your profit and loss making. So you can get in touch with us if you would like to know more about it. So this is what I have to say today. You can get in touch with us. Thank you so much. Over to Fatima.
Thank you, Anand, for those valuable information. Dear guests, you all have any questions? We're open to questions now.
Fatima, I'll continue for bank account.
Yes. Oh, yes, sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Dear members, I hope you all have heard from all of our speakers, and I hope you have got good information about everyone, of all the details about Mainland, Free Zone, summary details. I think it is enough to create an interest in you to set up your company. Now, one topic that comes at the end is the bank account, because whether you are forming a company in the mainland or you're forming company in the free zone, ultimately to run your business, you need a business bank account to do your transactions. So a lot of people have questions that what about the bank account? How can we get the bank account? How you can assure or guarantee a bank account? So let me give you a few simple facts, and then you can decide by yourself. So whenever you're opening a company in Dubai, once the license is done, you are legally allowed to start your business in Dubai. Now, to start the transactions, when it comes to bank account, you have both national and international banks in UAE, foreign banks and local banks. Most of the business owners who are dealing locally, mostly they prefer the local banks. Among the international banks, there are hardly 2% of them allow business bank account. Otherwise, they mostly are used for personal bank accounts. So for business bank accounts, among these local banks, there are different categories. Some banks are very organized, very famous, very premium, like Emirates NBD, RAC, Mashreq, ADCB. They are quite well known. Then there are some banks which are of other, Emirates, like Bank of Umm Al Quwain, Bank of Sharjah. Even there are Indian banks like Bank of Baroda, and even we get Bank of Singapore and other foreign banks as well, where you can Bank of Mauritius. They have their offices over here where you can open your bank account. Now, to open a bank account in the local bank, the set of documents that is required is all your company documents, which includes your license, memorandum, visas, plus a background of yours, like a CV, your curriculum vitae, like where you can mention about your background of what business you have done or what job you were doing. So it gives a little introduction of you. Your bank statements of your home country if you're running a business, or if you are a salaried person, so which can show the proof of funds, that from where you are bringing the funds that you're investing in UAE. Your address proof of your home country. If you're living in UAE, then that's fine. Even that address proof can do, or otherwise from your home country, a gas bill, internet bill, electricity bill, anything can do. Apart from that, a business plan of the business that you're going to start in UAE, and a little details on who all are going to be the partners, what services are you going to provide, who is going to be your target audience, and the invoices that you're doing and the payments that are coming are from which countries. Like, is it only locally, or are there specific countries with whom you will be dealing? So these are few details which the bank asks before you get a bank account. There are some suggestions we always try to tell clients, like, for example, do not wait for the bank account to be done and then you start your homework. For example, your websites, your visiting cards, your prospecting with customers, because a lot of times even banks, they want to see how prepared you are for your business. A lot of banks, they also request your service agreements with your vendors or your clients. So a lot of times we get this answer from clients, like, we haven't started our business, from where do we get that? So that's why we always suggest clients that when you are planning to start business in UAE, please start prospecting before even the formalities complete, at least once you get your license, so that you have some prospects in your hand, so that you can mention the company names of prospect vendors and prospect clients. Maybe they have not become your clients, but they are prospects. You can mention it in the KYC form that you will be filling up for the banks. So if you will come down to the summary, the 4 pillars or the 4 most important things which you need to have to successfully get your business bank account in Dubai is: first, you have to have clarity, and you must have documents proof for source of funds, that you're for whatever, how are you going to fund the business, and the money that you're investing in the UAE business is coming from where. So that question, if it is answered and you have proper due diligence, you have proper documents for that, that makes things easier for the bank to open account for you. Second thing is your future plan. What are your plans for the business? What are you going to do? Who your clients are going to be? From where the money is going to come? Prospect vendors, prospect clients. So the future, a little past about you, that whether you had the same business in your home country, or you're absolutely new to the business, or were you salaried and now you're starting a new venture. So how experienced are you in that business? So that's the third part, where your CV, your due diligence, your address proof, so a little details about you. So more details you can give about you and your bank balance. It's good for the bank. They get to know you more as a client. And the final thing is obviously the company documents, where you need the license, the memorandum, the establishment card, the share certificates, the ijari, the office that you are going to use. So more, if you have all these documents properly, then yes, you can get your bank account in just 15 to 20 working days. Why 15 to working days, 20 working days? Because it takes time to get the application done. Then it goes to the compliance for approval. Then they do their own due diligence. Then they come back to you if there are any queries, or if there are things which are not clear, and then you submit that. So average it takes 15 to 20 working days. However, it's not guaranteed that you get in 15-20 working days. If there are situations, or if there are things which takes time to clarify, it might take more time. So it depends on business to business, or it depends on case to case. So this is mostly about the bank account. And if you will ask average balance, so generally you get zero balance bank accounts as well. Mostly now UAE the banks have come up with online process, online document filings, where you submit everything, and you get your bank account through the online process itself. So it's there you can maintain just a zero balance bank account. However, if you want some services like a dedicated RM or something, so different banks have different parameters. Either you can keep an average balance of 25,000 to 200,000 or 500,000. Within this range, you can choose anything depending on your business. So if you go for a minimum balance, you get a lot of benefits from the bank, whether it is regarding to checkbooks, or regarding to the relationship managers, or regarding to the charges or something like that. So it depends. However, zero balance bank account is also possible. And apart from that, yes, the banks, they also give you online payment gateways. You need to talk to your bank. Different banks have different charges for that. You can apply for POS machines if you are a retail business, or if your business demands card payments, you can order for POS machines as well. And people who have e-commerce, obviously attaching the gateways to their website and everything. So the banks are very technology wise very advanced, and they give you all kind of facility that is required for your business. So that's wonderful. I recently heard, I was visiting a STEP conference, and there I saw that even a company has come where they have a moving POS machine on your phone. So you can just collect payment. You can tap your phone on anybody's card, and you can collect the payment over there. It's very new technology that has come up. I think they are going to launch soon. So they keep they keep advancing the things, and that's amazing. However, few suggestions. One more suggestion that we are going to give, that mostly try to get your residence visa done before your bank account. Before, non-resident bank accounts were easy. However, now in the current times, it is very important that when you are getting a bank account, you get your residence visa done. So that's very important. And then you can get your personal bank accounts for your family members as well, for your wife, for your kids, anybody who is above 21. Apart from that, there is one slide which was missing, which was a little bit about the labor laws. We are not going to cover much details, but just a little bit. As you know that in visas, there are 4 kind of visas that you find in UAE. One is investor visa, employee visa, dependent visa, And one new thing has come, which is the golden visa. So I'll just give you a little details. So investor visa, as you know, if you're opening a company, if you're an investor, you can apply for an investor visa, which mostly it is for 2 years at some places, or some free zones is 3 years. Then employees, anybody whom you are onboarding for employment in your company, you can give them employee visa. If you're sponsoring your wife, kids, parents, you can give them dependent visa. They can come on as a family visa. Generally, for investor visa, you just need to be a partner in the license. To employee visa, it's very important that the employees have the relevant degree depending on the designation that you are giving them. So, for example, if it is a HR manager, or if it's a manager profile, or if it is a clerk, it's accountant. So everything has a basic requirement which has to be fulfilled. And once you are onboarding people, obviously here, like an offer letter, there is labor contract. So, once you form a company with us, we give a free consultation on how you can, what are the do's and don'ts of the labor contracts, what are the kind of clause. So mostly it's like everything is like universal, but there are few things which you need to know. For example, in UAE, we give 30 days annual leave to the employees, which has to be given. You can give at once, or you can give in 2 parts. Mostly the salaries are divided as the basic salary, the travel allowance, and the accommodation allowance. So you can break up the salary in these 3. There is a gratuity, which is 4% of the basic, which has to be given to the employees. And there is health insurance that you have to provide to your employees. So that's like an annual fee that you have to pay to the insurance providers for each employee that you onboard. Now, dependent visa, when you are going for dependent visa, obviously you'll have to have a proof of relationship. For example, if they are kids, you need to have attested birth certificates. If it is your wife, you need to have attested marriage certificate, or husband, you need attested marriage certificate. If they are parents, in most of the cases, for parents, you need to have a letter which you can get it signed from the embassy, where you can declare that they are your parents, and they sign and stamp, and that is enough. Because a lot of times getting your birth certificate becomes difficult. So a relationship certificate from the embassy will do, and which can just prove that, they are your parents. So even that will do for their visa. And at the last, the golden visa, which everybody is, you must have heard a lot about it. So it has different criteria. We can go in details later, or you can go to the Ministry of Economy site. However, it is like either if you're investing on a property, average 2 million and above, or if you have a 30,000 and more salary, or if you are a skilled professional like a doctor or a scientist or something, or if you are a student who has extraordinary results. So there are a lot of different categories on the basis of which the government is giving a 10 years visa to the residents, which is amazing. However, there are different criteria for it, and there is an approval system. So for that, we can do a separate session on that. Similarly, labor laws, like I've already informed you about, the 2 years limited contract. Yes, all the salary has to be transferred through WPS. So wage protection system is there. So all to make sure, UAE government makes sure that all the employees are paid on time by all the companies. So all the salaries has to be transferred via that, and they keep a record. And if you are found not paying salaries on time every month, there can be penalties. And yes, 30 days annual leave and gratuity and health insurance is what is important. So now, just to summarize, today we got to know about in this presentation is about what is mainland and who should form a company in mainland, what is free zone and why free zone, UBO, AML, VAT and tax in UAE, how to get a bank account, how to get a visa, what are the labor laws that we have to remember. So we got to know a little bit of all the details. So now we will be opening the platform for questions, so that we can listen to you and what questions you have. And later on, our team will also share some offers and packages that they have for you for this month. So you can avail that, and you can see if you would like to enroll this month itself. So team, please feel free to ask questions. There is you will see a mark raise hand you can put, and our admin will unmute you. We are waiting for your questions. You can also write your questions in the chat bar. And you can also see in the chat bar, our team has shared a lot of documents and fact sheets. You can download that and you can use it. So Mr. Imal Pereira, I'm unmuting it.
Hi,
yes.
everyone.
Hi, Mr. Imal.
Nice meeting that you have organized. It's a lot of information that I got. I'm sorry, I just joined a little bit later. So this question you might have already explained. I'm asking you before that. So the question is that when you set up a company in Free Zone, I saw that there is a 9% that income tax that we have to pay. Is that tax free? That's the first question. The other question is that if it is I heard that it's tax free. If it is tax free, is it is it for the engagements that are happening within Dubai or outside of Dubai, which means that foreign
sure. Sure. So, sir, what we'll do is generally at the moment, this 9% tax has not come yet. It is from 2024. However, people will start keeping their books from this year. At the moment, there is only 5% VAT. So the tax is not there. And when tax is coming next year, there are still a lot of things which has to be clarified about tax. However, tax is only on the profit, and whether it will be for the outside business or not for free zones, it is a little still unclear. However, we have asked our accountants to keep a session on it. We will keep it on some other day for sure. Mr. Akarshan? Mr. Akarshan, we have unmuted you. Any questions you had? Okay. Mr. Akarshan, we cannot hear you properly. Your voice is breaking.
He has written his question in the chat also.
Okay.
Let's see. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, now it is fine. Yes, now it is fine. Hello? Mr. Akash. Okay, so let's see the questions, guys, that we have received in the chat. So one question is, the question is on free zone. It seems that license and visa are two separate things procedure-wise. Are there cases where the license is issued, but entry visa is not? What is the proportion likelihood of such cases? What happens to license in such case? Does the license fee get refunded? Can one try for visa again after say 3 or 6 months? Okay, that's a very nice question. So guys, I hope everybody can hear me. So one client said this question, and I will tell you the real scenarios that has happened. Yes, license and visa are two different, situations. License is granted by Ministry of Economy, and the visas are through the immigration or the labor department. When the immigration visas are being done, yes, there are situations where in the security approval at times some visas has got rejected. But this rejection does not happen. It's not very common. There has to be a really very solid reason for these rejections. So mostly like if it is high risk nationality or there is an issue in the immigration or something like that, only in those cases they get rejected. So, but however, when it gets rejected, what we have seen is, for example, if it is a mainland license, then we have not, obviously the fee cannot be refunded back. However, in free zone cases, we have seen at times there are free zones who refunded the whole license fee once when they saw that the visa did not happen. But again, it is subject to the free zones approval if they want to do that. But if it is mainland, the money might not be refunded back. So for that, there is a solution that a person can get, security check done. It costs 250 dirham before opening the license. If anybody has a doubt that my visa get rejected, you can get a security check done before you apply for the visa or the license. Yes, Mr. Akarshan, now we can hear you.
Yes, sorry, because of slow network connection, I was not able to join the meeting.
No problem.
Yeah. So my question is that In India, there are many compliances for a private limited and a limited company. So are there more compliances than India in the United Arab Emirates?
Okay. So, sir, I will see, definitely UAE is very relaxed on the compliances. In fact, in the past years, it was pretty very relaxed. But it has newly started introducing different kind of regulations over here. For example, AML has been introduced just 2 years back, and now it was not mandatory before. UBO submission was not mandatory before. It has recently come. So obviously there is a lot of difference. Once I'll just mute somebody. Obviously, if you understand that it's not as India as compliant as India, but yes, it's the beginning. It has already.
So will I need to hire a UAE chartered accountant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. See, generally, most of the companies, they do their VAT and accounting by themselves. It's all online. It's pretty easy. So if you are confident and if you are a little good in accounts, I don't think you will have to hire an accountant. But yes, in case you are not very familiar with the regulations, it is a good idea to outsource your bookkeeping, and it is not very expensive over here. Yes, Mr. Vipul. Mr. Vipul, we have requested you to unmute. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, how can I get golden visa? Because I am an Ayurvedic physician practicing doctor in Mumbai. Okay.
That's nice. So, for example, if you to get it over here, first over here, are you having any plans to invest in any property or something?
Not yet right now.
Okay. So if on the basis of the profession you want to get the visa, then you will have to open a clinic over here or something, because your profession has to be here in UAE. So you prove to be a doctor. Let's say if you take a employment from any clinic in UAE, you get a, let's say, employee visa, or you open your own clinic and you prove that you're practicing the profession here in UAE, then you can apply for a golden visa on the basis of your profession, because they are only giving this on the professional skill. They are giving golden visa to only people who are practicing inside UAE. Only to artists and celebrities. Yeah, only to artists and celebrities they are giving, even if they are outside. Like you must have heard that Sonu Nigam, Neha Kakkar, and many other celebrities of India they got. So celebrities they are giving because they keep coming here and performing on that basis. So artists they are giving, cricketers they are giving, but for skilled professionals like accountants are getting golden visa, doctors are getting golden visa, engineers are getting golden visa, but they are only getting if they are practicing inside UAE. Inside UAE, yes.
Okay, and what about the freelance visa?
Yes, freelance visa is
freelance.
Yeah, freelance visa you can get. So a lot of free zones in UAE, they provide the freelance visa. In fact, even economic department has a freelance visa system, and you can take a freelance visa and act as work as a freelancer over here. However, in the freelance visa, you won't be able to recruit employees, but registering VAT and paying VAT will also applicable to freelancers. So any income that you're doing through professionally, then the VAT is applicable on that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Vipul. Mr. Imal, is your question still there? I can see the hand.
Yeah, there's a new question.
Yes.
Because the doctor was talking about the freelance visa.
Yes.
I heard I had a chat with a few people, and they were saying that freelance visa has some problems as well if the company shuts down or something like that. Is there something like that I need to worry about?
No, I'll tell you. Yes, this is very important for everybody to know. So a lot of things, please beware of a few, I will not say scams, but confusions that people create. See, a lot of people, what they do is they have a company, let's say general trading, technical services. They give you an employee visa from their company, and they call it as freelance visa. They say that you pay us for the visa cost, we give you the visa, and you don't need to come to our office or something. You do whatever you're doing. However, in UAE, by labor law, it's illegal. You cannot give fake employments to people or fake residences to people. So, Mr. Imal, this thing what you have got is for these kind of visa, and they call it freelance visa as well. However, the freelance visa which I was suggesting, that they are proper freelance visas from the government departments. So from the free zone authorities, from economic department, they give freelance visas, and they give you a registered license as a freelancer to practice whatever you are doing. For example, you are a consultant, or you are a coach, or you are an artist, drummer, writer, poet, because these people don't need a company or a license to perform their thing. So mostly these categories, they take the freelancer visa. Yoga trainer, Pilates trainer. So these people, they all go for generally freelance visas, and they work as a freelancer. So in this case, there is no harm, there is no threat, because it is in your hand. If you want to close it, you can just request the authority and close the license. Let's say if you're not planning to practice it anymore. However, the other scene, yes, you will be dependent on a company who has given you an employment visa, and there can be obviously consequences if you don't know the person or something like. There are different things on that. However, that is not legally allowed or permitted. But thank you for raising this question. It was a very good question. So guys, anybody else has any question? Anyone we are missing? Okay, so guys, thank you so much. As audience, you have been very patient, and you have
Rupa, there are a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay,
which we have made.
So before we finish, let's finish the chat questions. Somebody wrote, and how much will it totally cost for a technology company to set up itself in United Arab Emirates? So sir, for a company, obviously the cost depends on a lot of things. How many partners will be there, whether you need an office or not, and a lot of other factors. But a small setup to start, I think 15 to 20,000 dirham, if you will tell me like a ballpark figure, is, if you are taking a visa for yourself at least, and a license, and you're doing everything properly, I think 15 to 20,000 dirham is what you need to start a company in Dubai, to get the paperwork. Obviously, to start a company, then there are other budgets. You will make your marketing budget, you will make your recruitment budget. That's different. But the paperwork, you should keep at least average 15 to 20,000 in hand. And if you're a retail business, or if you're a restaurant or a clinic, and you really need a setup, then that cost will be separate, because the property cost will add to the license cost. And one more question is, can you explain procedure for freelance visa in both mainland and free zone? Okay, this I have already covered. Also for freelance visa, you can keep an average budget between 7,000 to 15,000 dirham. So different free zones and mainland, they are different costs, but the average cost is between 7 to 15. Does the renewal of business license cost time and takes the same as creation, or what is the percentage of cost? Yes, that is very true. Mr. Abdul, this is your question. Yeah, in UAE at the moment, any license that you form, you will have to renew it every year. And at the time of renewal, generally the renewal cost is almost 70% same as the first year cost. That is there. However, there are many packages, they float in the market a lot of times, where you can renew your license for 2 years or 3 years. There you get a lot of saving or discounts. However, let's see now, after the tax from next year, maybe there will be some discounts on licenses. But for now, yes, whatever you pay on the first year, the second year, third year is almost same. Then I have a question. How much time do we get a virtual office in UAE, and under which category? Yes, for virtual office, see, generally the free zones that you form companies, all the free zones have option of flexi desk. We call that flexi desk is called actually virtual office. So they give you an address on your license, which becomes your company's registered address. However, if you want to do business and you want to rent an office in any business center, you can use that service as well. For the mainland, most of the businesses, they need to at least rent a proper office in a business center or an individual office. Sometimes there are some businesses where a virtual address is allowed. However, in the mainland, it is always advised to get a space according to your business. The question is free zone. It seems the license and visa. Okay, so we have almost covered all the questions. I can see Mr. Vipul. Mr. Vipul, you can you raised your hand. You can unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Vipul.
Yeah. So for business setup, how many weeks we need?
Okay, so generally it depends on what business activity you are doing, but I will give you an example.
Yeah.
For example,
like I tell you, my son is a plastic engineer and he wants to start his trading from Dubai.
Okay.
Trading.
Yeah. Okay. So generally most of the trading companies, consultancy companies, they don't take more than 4 to 5 working days to get the license. But 4 to 5 working days from the day we get all the documents and payment. Like for example, because a lot of times the documents that you need to give, like your passport copies, your visit visa copies, your white background photograph. Sometimes if you're taking too much time in sending those documents, then it can take time. But otherwise, from the day we get all the documents, it will be done within 4 to 5 working days, the average standard time. And other activities, for example, restaurant which needs municipality approval, civil defense approval, or a nursery which needs KHD approval, or Ministry of Education approval, or a pharmacy which needs DHA or Ministry of Health approval, then those kind of licenses might take little more time, like a month or 2. But in general, most of the licenses, they are done within 4 to 5 working days. But there are few free zones which are very highly compliant free zones, and they are very famous. You must be knowing DMCC, JAVZA, DAVZA. So these are few free zones who take time in compliance approvals. So there, even if it is a normal license, like a normal trading or consultancy license, still it will take at least 15 to 20 working days. So yeah, but however, if it is a DED license, like you're opening a proper mainland license, a local license, or you're opening in a free zone like IFZA, Ras Al Khaimah, Umm Al Quwain, Shams, Sharjah. So here standard time is 4 to 5 working day. After the license, your visa will take another at least a week or 2, and then your bank account takes 20 days. So if you want to know the exact time by when you will be able to run your business smoothly, get the payments from your clients and everything, that setup you will have to keep a timeline of 2 to 3 months.
Okay. Yeah.
So whichever month you decide that, okay, if you're planning to start a business, if from August, if you want to start taking payments from your clients, you must start your homework or the setup in March or April. So at least 3 months before you start your setup plan, depending on whichever month you are planning to launch your business.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vipul. Is there any other questions? Is there anybody else? I think we have covered all of you. So thank you everybody for giving time and listening to us. We will be available for your questions and everything. So I am leaving a email ID and number. Okay, our colleague has already left email ID and our numbers in the chat. We would like to, see you. Please, if you can help us, you can with your queries, send us your queries, and we will get back to you with the right proposal for you and the timelines for you. One more question is there. Thanks for answering the question. Just one more thing. Does waiting for 3 months, 6 months help in such cases where rejection has happened, presumably on some random grounds? Also, which free zone would be a better bet to avoid this? Okay, so generally for yes, if let's say already a rejection has happened for visa on your license, yes, you should apply. You can apply after 3 or 6 months. However, it is very important to know what was the reason. So sometimes you don't even have to wait for 3 to 6 months, and few things can get cleared. So generally, Dubai immigration, I generally suggest, is the best one to go for if you want to avoid anything. However, whether it is any immigration, if let's say you have faced something like this, instead of waiting, You can send your passport copy to a consultant, and we can, on the other hand, check what was the problem. Because I will give you one example. There was one client, and we were doing his company, and his visa was rejected. And he was definitely upset over what has happened, why it's not coming. And you will not believe, when we did a due diligence and we checked, then we got to know that he created a visit visa for himself to come to UAE, but he did not travel. But he did not cancel that visit visa. It was 2 years back. After 2 years, he came on investor visa. He did his license, did everything. He applied for his investor visa, but his visa was not coming and it was getting rejected because there was already a file opened on his name in the immigration system, which was not cancelled. So this is a very small thing. It was even new for us to know, like, okay, for such a small reason or ignorant reason, this happened. So we had to go to immigration, request, get it cancelled. And then, so my request is, if ever you guys are creating a visit visa to visit to any country, and if you are not, let's say for any reason, your plan changed and you're not traveling, please make sure that you go ask your travel agent to cancel that visa, so that it is cancelled in the immigration system. A lot of times for small reasons, such things happen. Similarly with a client, there was some name match, and because of which it was, so there can be many reasons. So it is very important that if something like that happens to you, it's better that you get it checked through a consultant. There are many bodies over here, you can get the check done, and once you know the reason, only then you can, there are sometimes the reasons when the age is too much. There are some zones where if you are above 70 or above 65, sometimes there you can face visa rejections. So especially when it comes to employment visa, but investor visa, it's okay. So yes, so definitely it depends on case to case. However, we do take interest in such cases. Do let us know when something like that happens, so that we can give a helping hand, and we can do a check and at least get you the reason, or what has happened up to our capability. Okay guys, thank you so much. And we have your email IDs, so we'll be sending you the offers and prices for the month. Thank you for your time. Bye bye. Good evening. Have a good weekend.